Yeah, so I can pitch the speech from my colleagues, Moritz Fuller, who the dev in core team, not just me, ecosystem grow. I want to start from first of all, the most important resources which help you a lot is a community Discord, developer forum, and information about hubs, because we already open 24 hubs all around the world, and you can ask help probably in all of these hubs all around the world. So what is the Dfinity? Dfinity is a no profit organization which founded in 2016 in Zurich, Switzerland. So far, we have more than 270 team members, more than 1,600 employees publication, a lot of citations, a lot of patents, and probably one of the largest R&D team in the blockchains, but I didn't check it. We have our specific vision as any blockchain, as any product. We believe that internet computer does to computation what the internet does to communication. Maybe somebody from you remember the time before internet, when to communicate, you need to find some hotspots like telephone or telegraph, or send a paper message. Nowadays, you just turn off your phone, pay a little bit for internet, and text with guys all around the world. So we're trying to build the same service for computation. Little brief history. So one of the first success blockchain was Bitcoin. The main focus of Bitcoin was just payments. Then appeared Ethereum, which trying to improve the just payment to something more complicated. They release logic of the smart contracts, and we as ICP trying to extend the idea of the smart contracts and add infrastructure for true Web3, not only execution, but also DNS, hosting files, and serving services. So in conclusion, ICP is a platform to run any computation using blockchain technology for decentralized and security way. Little bit about architecture. So far, we have 4 data centers which are distributed across the globe. Each data center run a few nodes. On each nodes, we host a few subnets. If you're familiar with the Cosmos blockchain, the idea of the subnets are the same. Each subnets consists of their own information, and each subnets could communicate with each other subnets. So it allows us to provide the smooth experience during the increasing requests and other transaction rates. So it's helped us to protect the problem with the gas price and stacks of transaction like in Bitcoin. One more key feature of the key architecture point of the Dfinity is a key chain scaling. The idea is that your public chain are divided to few parts, and each parts are stored on different nodes. It's help us to provide more security and more protection against any type of attacks. Keychain allows you to sign messages which you send to any other users, and also allows to communicate subnets between each other. One key is some kind of your magic key to any data on ICP. So it's just 84 bytes, which allows you to interact with the hundreds of gigabytes of code and data. We have this abstraction like Canister. Canister is a smart contract, but compared with Ethereum on steroids, because at this moment you can write smart contracts with a volume more than 100 megabytes. Up to 100 megabytes. And smart contracts consist of the WebAssembly bytecode, which you received when you compile your smart contract and deploy, and memory pages. Canister is decentralized service. This allows you to implement different types of the services like easy auth, APIs, storages, websites, and compared with Ethereum, we implement the reverse gas technology. This means that when you deploy a smart contract, you put some gas-like amount of money to smart contracts, which allows you to your users interact with a canister without any money on the volume on the wallet. So it provides much better experience, UX experience compared with Ethereum and classical EVM chains. How the Web3 currently looks like? So you host some backend on Amazon, so in centralized service. And when you want to interact with the on-chain part, you're going, for example, through some wallets like MetaMask, through RPC provider in Pura, which also centralized to Ethereum. But at the same time, all the logic usually are hosted on the centralized backend. So with Canister, you can host everything on the Canister in the decentralized way. This is a way how we're trying to fix the problems that the Web3 is not true Web3. About also our competitor advantages. So average cost of storage one gigabyte of the data on the ICP for 1 year is just $5 compared with other chains. Very price of the storage are growing and growing every year. We also have a network nervous system. It's some kind of a mixture of the DAO, subnet, and token issuing. It's some governance mechanism which allows you to propose to run one more subnets and manage communication between subnets. Also, we have some kind of teeny format of this system. We call it the service nervous system. When inside the subnets, you can run one more subnet-like system, but smaller, exactly for your jobs. It's also help. It's really good to scaling and save the cost of the transactions. We also have a native token, is ICP token, which have a few different utilities. First of all, it's participating governments. Let's not talk about the speculation format of this token. Also, it allows you to allows you to receive the reward from participation in governments and operate in node machines. And of course, ICP token you can use for execution. We use little bit about governments. Once the main format of the participate with governments, you go to the government forum, you're voting to some proposals, and then you receive the reward. So you can stake in and receive a little bit more reward compared that you receive the rewards at the moment when you choose a proposal. But also we have one more mechanism, is call it semi-automatical, when you can choose the guys which you the account which you trust, and your voting will be as the same as voting of the other guys which you select. So as I mentioned before, we allows you to put some gas-like token in your canister. So this is we call the pre-charges, and the gas in ICP we call it sickles. So it's an analog of the ticks in processor executions. So the average, the sum kind of life cycle of ICP looks like that. On the first stage, protocol pay ICP to node provider. Then the node provider sell ICP, and canister owner is usually the app developer by ICP, and they convert it to circles and put it in the sorry both. Sorry for noise. You put in the app, and during the execute, and the node operator during the validating and hosting nodes, they receive the ICP by during the execution of logic of canisters. and some features. So first of all, our one of the biggest competitor advantage with Ethereum and other blockchains, we allows you to make HTTPS request right through the smart contract. So it allows you to don't use workaround like oracles and any other on-chain data providers. You can just make order HTTPS requests. As I said before, and we also provide you SDS signatures. I'm not too deep in cryptography, but trust me, it's really useful stuff in some. We also have a native Bitcoin integration. If you hear about ZK SQL BTC, so it allows you to implement smart contract on ICP network and interact with main Bitcoin network. The same we have for Ethereum, but of course, a little bit more advanced because Ethereum already have smart contracts. So we allows you to interact not just with pure network, like with Bitcoin, but also smart contracts on the Ethereum network. We also have on-chain encryption, so you don't need to waste the time on learning ZK proofs and learning one more language. You can store information securely, like directly on chain. And we also provide you internet identity, so it's more advanced mechanism than just seed phrases. It allows you to use native authentication algorithms like Face ID and other stuff. To interact with the app on ICP. So we launched it at May of 2021, and so far we are growing very fast, and a lot of developers are bullish of our blockchain. We are fast growing. You can check our ecosystem, but it's still a few white spaces which you as a developer can cover and have a success business of the implementing missing part of ecosystem. So you can try some apps. First of all, I recommend OpenChat. Is a decentralized analog of the Slack. Pretty smooth. You don't need install application. Just save website on your homepage on the mobile phone. So what we offer? So first of all, is reduce platform risk. We provide you the same experience for developing as a Web2. It's not so. I hope you will believe me that the experience of developing compared with Ethereum and exactly Solana much easier. A secure environment, secure identity. Let's trust security audit companies. Multi-chain apps on some excuses, but yeah, it's multi-chain apps. Low latency, more scalable, cost effectively, and complete technology stack. So we provide you Turing full languages without limitation like Solidity, and you can use language which you already know, like Rust or TypeScript, or you can learn our native language Mogoto. But we advise you to use Rust as the most effective language for developing, because in any case, your smart contracts are compiling in Wasm. Yeah, so that's all from my small presentation. Let's check. Yeah, it's the time for questions. According to reverse gas, makes it super unique. To be honest, it's not unique technology, but we implemented one of the most convenient way, because if you write some smart contracts on NIR, you also can stake some NIR, which allows to users interact with the NIR smart contract without any money. And for Ethereum, we have Gelata-like services. It's a layer service, and you can last version of payment account, paymaster from account abstraction on Ethereum, but it's not so widely used technology. But if you have a target to implement some gasless experience, you can do this. But with the ICP, it's one of the it's probably from the box mechanism. Yep. Okay, if you any questions, any suggestions, any comments, maybe I said something wrong. Sorry?
Thank you, Arsenii. Do you have any questions?
Okay, so let's move to the brainstorm sessions. Guys, raise your hand if you have already have any ideas for hackathon. Okay, don't worry about it. So
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, Dedan, we can hear you.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the raising hand and the icon, but I'm not finding. So I have just a question. I was a bit interested in the mobile development, the technology that can be scaled to, let's say, using Flutter.
guys who not talking, please mute yourself. Sorry for interrupting.
Let me just repeat. Okay, thank you, Asen. So about mobile development and cross-platform, let me just give an example. Let's say, lately people are trying to use Flutter for cross-platform and avoiding electrical, because you can build on one platform, then it scales to like 6 platforms. So is ICP has a capability to handle something like Flutter already?
If correct, remember Flutter is allows you to write some kind of web-like application and then deploy on the mobiles and other. It will be interesting experience. It will be interesting example if you implement this. I can directly connect you to Azle team. Azle team. Azle is a TypeScript framework for ICP. So, and if you prepare, I didn't saw any example of using Flutter with ICP. So, but looks it should work probably. If you write some example about it, this will be amazing.
I'll look into that and do some research. Maybe I can build an MVP on that. Then we see how it works.
Yeah, it will be awesome. Any small application will be perfect, because Flutter is a really cool technology to build applications.
Thank you. That's all.
Okay, so let me help you with the find ideas. I'll share my screen. So first of all, let's start from internet computer ecosystems. You can find a lot of applications. Not so big as like in Solidity, but we're working on it. So we have a few swap dexes. We have some kind of crowdfunding. We have some NFT marketplaces. We have the on-chain messaging and anything. So when you when you think that some ideas are interesting to implement, just go to the website and check, is it already exist or no? So let's imagine that I want to implement NFT marketplace. Or fine, just go to search and print NFT. Okay. Okay, it's not searching by project. Sorry for this. So it's probably could be one of the project if you build the search for our ecosystem page. Okay, burning the fastest. Okay, let's start just from these projects and check what they have. Okay, the launchpad, the collections. We can buy something, inscriptions, integration with Bitcoin. So you see there's basic features already implemented. So it's not make sense to implement one more NFT marketplace, but there are no, for example, airdrop mechanics. For example, which allows you to put some kind of list of addresses, which will be eligible to claim NFT for free, or create some kind of POAP-like technology. If you don't know, POAP is a proof of identity protocol. It's an NFTs which are usually situated on the conferences. And when you arrived, you claim this NFT, usually gasless, that proves that you was on this conference. So it's not a ticketing platform, because for ticketing, usually people use more classical platform like Eventbrite or Luma or Meetup.com. But this is more about the proof that you was real person with some influence in the ecosystem. So, so the main point, the main idea is that when you create the, when we find some interesting idea, just go to Google or ecosystem page or any other and check is it really exists, and then check is the features good enough to improve. Because if you see the competitors, it's a good sign that this market exists. They have a customers, and you can provide something in additional to existing service and attract already existing users. You don't need to spend time on the of organized new markets. So one more useful service for checking ideas and other one is, for example, to go to any other big hackathon providers. For example, one of the biggest is Global. They have showcase page, and here you can search any project which you any ideas. So you can go and see is they want something. Is you can check source code, and don't build something from the raw, and see how good this was, and reuse it, for example. But if you, as Global, mostly focus on if you EVM blockchain, EVM chains, sorry, EVM chains. So, and you can just use some templates or parts of the code to don't write everything from the raw, because it's everything here with MIT license, and you can reuse it in your project. Yeah, well, let's find some, for example, 1inch, if you know these guys. 1inch was started on the Ethereum of as Global New York a few years ago. So, and you see that the team, okay, it's boundaries. And you can find the good examples of the project here, which nowadays is success. What else you can use? So if you have a ChatGPT, I hope you have, we can go to ChatGPT and ask something. Give me a moment. Okay, it takes some time. Maybe next time. Oh, okay. So you can go, for example, give me a project which miss it in ICP ecosystem. And if you will be lucky enough, he give you answer. Okay, a stupid answer, but if you talk with the ChatGPT, probably he can create idea for you. One more practice which I recommend you. Probably you know about Y Combinator, and Y Combinator have templates of some tutorials about pitch deck, for example. I recommend you to use this template to formulate your idea, to groom your project, because by using this template, you will answer on the core questions which most investors are asking you, and also because as a final of the hackathon, we want from you is MVP, which you can potentially convert to the business. So we also will look on the business potential of this. Don't worry about you if your pitch deck will be not the perfect from the first time, because it's a skill. As more time you work, as more time you create the pitch deck, as better it's going. So don't afraid to trying to answer the question or share with us a brief the early version of pitch deck for grooming. So don't worry about it. Also recommend serial hackathon winners. I also recommend you to, when you create idea, when you formulate in some way, ask mentors on the hackathon and ask what do they think about the ideas. they definitely will provide some ideas with their or some view from other angle, and probably can help you to be more success on the hackathon. And don't afraid to ask any help. Be proactive, and I think that's all life hacks which I want to share with you so far. Any more questions, or if you have any idea, we can discuss it right now to improve it in a way. Okay, some ideas from me. For example, as I said, pull-up like mechanics, it will be cool. Some kind of on-chain analytic, for example, people really like competitions, and exist a few this type of services like the Score. The Score is calculate how often you interact with the DEXs, how many money you spent on chain, and give you some score and show you some kind of rating, how Degen you are. The same, for example, proof of anything. For example, also cool idea, cool service which so far working mostly with EVM chain is let me find yield tools, for example. It allows you to create some kind of social engagement when they check that do you have a social account, how many subscribers you have, do you have any NFTs, do you eligible for something, and it allows you to manage roles on Discord service, for example. For this, it's really awesome. But it's so far it's centralized, but you can make it an ICP decentralized way, and you don't need to think about business because this project is already have customers. Yep. Multi-sig, for example, one of the best multi-sig so far. I know that some teams are working on the multi-sigs. Multi-sig allows you to manage some common wallet together with some other guys. The idea is that you're trying to party which will be agree with you to send some money. It's one of the basic block to build the on-chain company. So it's probably will be important, and the use case is obvious for this type of project.
Hello.
Any more questions?
Hello.
Okay.
It's me again, Dedan Okware. I had another question regarding. First of all, I want to thank you guys for releasing the latest DFX 0.17. It is just perfect. It makes work easier. And speaking of that, we would like to request maybe if you can get a serverless framework that is Next.js. It would be somehow perfect because, as you can see, we have React, Vue, Svelte, and everything, but they're just a front-end framework. If you can get Next.js that is packed such a way that it is Next.js as a front-end, but you can choose now your backend, the APIs now that you can be able to use, that is Rust, Motoko, Azure, Keybrand.
No, if you build a Node.js application and host it on Canister, it will be work with Asli framework probably. I can share. Okay, let me find it was one of the example in frames tutorial. Yep, this one. I shared in the Zoom. So here it's show how to create the backend service on the TypeScript with Asli. So probably you can use an Next.js, not just Express.js, and they serve get and post request, get and post REST API. So probably it's already possible to use the Next.js on ICP. So no any problems. Yeah, sorry for that. So if you have any questions, Angular, anything which you can connect with TypeScript, you can use Asle and connect. Probably Next.js, backbones, if you remember this.
Hi, am I audible? I had a question about mobile development.
Okay, I will try to answer.
I'm Silas. I just want to echo what Dedan queried about. My question is, as long as something can be built with the TypeScript, maybe I can build a mobile application with TypeScript. Maybe there's an option of React Native. So is it possible to build a mobile app that can be hosted on the ICP using any technology as long as it consumes or uses ASL TypeScript, that is?
To be honest, I don't know because but you can try it definitely. Looks like it should work, but the only problem will be, which I see, is the interaction with the internet and the entity, because I don't know how it will be work on the mobile native mobile application. Because so far, most of the application for mobile we work is using progressive web app, if you're familiar with this technology.
Okay, thank you.
But it's really, if you create the React Native application as an example, it will be a really cool project. Some basic stuff will be perfect. So it's tutorial.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
I have a question. My question
Yeah,
is
go
that
ahead. That's sorry.
we were creating an online blockchain voting system, but the problem is that we had started using Solidity Ethereum, but it reached a time few weeks away from the day of presentation. But now we are being told that ICP is not yet ready to be integrated with the Solidity Ethereum, that they are working on it. So is it just a must to use it? Because I'm seeing that they want Motoko and use of the Rust or even TypeScript. Yes, finished.
Yeah, I just looking for network link for you. So probably we have EVM chain on ICP. It's called Dfinity, if correctly remember. Yeah, so I share the link with you, and we will try to find this. And probably in this network you can deploy EVM smart contracts. But probably you will not be able to use all potential of the ICP. So I recommend you to choose on which chain you want to launch your project. So don't just spare your attention to different activities.
Hello, Asen. One more question. I'm stubborn today. Can forgive me.
No, don't worry, don't worry. We are all here to trying to help you. Of course, go ahead.
Okay. Just the other day, I built. I was doing the TypeScript 201 development on the CAD course ICP. Then I did ICP chatbot. Like I went on OpenAI. Then I trained my assistant API. Then brought it back to use as with TypeScript as well. But now it took me with these questions. Can ICP support the LLMs? Like, can we able to scale the LLMs on, let's say, TypeScript or Motoko? Like, not just depending on the APIs. You can bring
Okay, got it.
OpenAI inside. Like,
Yeah, To be honest, I'm not big expert in AI. I know only the most of the artificial intellect networks using Python for implementation and working on usually they launch it on use a TensorFlow, and they require GPU acceleration. I know there some works on the GPU acceleration, some port on ICP is going, but I'm not sure that it's product ready technology exactly for hackathon. But in future, it's definitely will be support of this because it's a really, really trend topic.
Hello.
Hi, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Joe Bubu. So I had a question. My question was that I'm a fan of CICD, that is DevOps practice. So I just wanted to ask, currently we are building an application on internet computer. Does ICP support CICD?
Support what?
CICD, continuous integration and continuous development. Such that I can just...
We had one of the project which was built originally on ICP. They call it Flick. Let me find. Previously, it was implemented on ICP. Then they migrate on their own chain. This is a distributed CI/CD service. So probably it's possible because what you need? You need some kind of dashboard, workers, and some agents on the service where you build your code. So probably it's not so complicated to implement. You can check the Flick and see how they organize this work. But in any case, you need some worker which you hosted on the build machine, you know.
Hi again. I had another question. It was about token creation. So first, I was finding it a bit hard, especially using TypeScript to create tokens. So I read something about the ICRC1 standard. I believe it's the ICRC1 standard of creating tokens. But for me, it was a little bit complicated. Could you just please maybe highlight the token creation ecosystem and how, just for a brief moment, of how it works? Because I was finding it a little bit hard, the whole concept of token creation on internet computer.
So I not went through this tutorial, unfortunately. So I can briefly explain your main idea of the token. So if we took as example EVM chains, usually smart contracts are just stores the one dictionary. Is a owner address and amount of token which they have. So the same could be implemented on ICP definitely. Let me check what's the current token standard of ICP. ICP token, that's not this one. So if you don't like it, or it's first of all, if you have any troubles, just go to our Discord, to developer forum, and we try to help you. If you think that this standard is not good enough, you can create your own and try to pitch us why you think it's better to use it. Why not? Because by history of the most of the blockchains, it's 1,000 of the token standards, and only at the moment when the key player of the ecosystem start using the one template, it's becoming in industry template. So don't afraid to create one more token standard with some benefits. Oh, sorry for that. I hope I answered your questions. But yeah, if you face it with some specific problem, just text to me, to Discord, to developer forum.
Hello, hi. My name is Peterson. So we had created a DApp that an NFT marketplace that was sold doubles up as a DAO, whereby members of the DAO can have control over collections and things like that. So I was asking, is an idea like that viable, or has it already been implemented?
Sorry. I need one moment because it's really too noisy.
Should I repeat?
Yeah. Could you repeat the last part about? I understand about that you want to implement the DAO managed NFT collection and service for this, and what's the business case for this?
Yeah, so I was asking whether it's viable enough, or it has already been implemented. Just
Sorry. Could you repeat one more time?
yeah. So I hope you can hear me now. Okay, so I was asking, when you want to create an NFT marketplace that also doubles up as a DAO, where members have control over the collection and services that take place in the marketplace. Was the idea viable enough, or it has already been implemented? The idea already exists, and somebody else already owns it. Yes.
Yeah. So it's from my understanding, so it's not. It's a very pure market for this idea. So because you're trying to combine two ideas together, this is provide a limitation for you because it's already an NFT marketplace and already some DAO mechanics. So and it's much easier to, for example, some DAO to go to multi-sig or some kind, and then create through the multi-sig the collection, smart contract of this collection, which they can manage by the DAO voting on the multi-sig. I hope I explain not so complicated. But Razor, maybe it's better implement not just in one more NFT marketplace, maybe provides creates a tool which allows to modify the smart contracts on Canister by the voting of DAO, because it's much wider. You focus it only on one problem, and in additional NFT marketplaces and NFT collections will be arrived to you for this type of services. So you don't need to from one side attract DAOs and this from other side selling the NFT marketplaces. So I recommend you to focus on one of the project, or NFT marketplace, or managing smart contracts by DAO. And the second part is more interesting because NFT marketplaces is really hard to manage, and it's not active market so far. But DAO managing of the smart contracts is the infrastructure part, and if you provide a good and smooth experience of this, you probably will be success, because it's a basic mechanics which most of the DAO need. I hope I'm answering your question.
Yes, thank you.
One more stuff, according to NFT marketplace, to don't implement one more simple NFT marketplace, you can look on the Rarible. Rarible is one of the oldest NFT marketplace on EVMs, but not so popular nowadays. What they did, they create a marketplace where you can create marketplace for your collection. So it's some kind of tilde or zero knowledge website constructor for collection. So here you set up this collection, and the same time, as the next step, they create your personal page, personal store for your collection, which you can host on your own domain. You don't need to write anything. It also will be awesome if you can implement it, because it's much more mature, because this gives you more opportunities for business. So here you're selling not just NFTs, you're selling some kind of landing pages for businesses, because and the physical alias of the NFT could be any clothes, goods, cars, and anything else. but without any customers which you already have agreements who needs this type of services, it's really hard after to find the traction, to reach the traction. Because a lot of teams are working on this type of service.
Oh, okay, understood.
Yep.
Hello.
Last call, guys. Last call for last question.
Hello.
Hello.
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Hello. Okay. My name is Emmanuel. I have one question. I was just reiterating on what Dedan was talking about, the AI models. So one of the project that I'm working on is basically going to involve in layman's terms, it's going to involve a model that will need audio and visual processing, basically a convolutional neural network. And you come to find that such a model will require more like GPU processing because of the parallel processing than the traditional CPUs. So you mentioned something about some projects, some similar projects. Maybe if there's a link, let's say people who have implemented it on the ICP, because you come to find that when, let's say, you are DFX deploying, it's deploying to the traditional, the normal CPUs. Is there a way, let's say, to DFX deploy but to a graphical processing node than the traditional CPU? So that, let's say, when you build this application, you can just host it directly on the ICP network instead of using, let's say, HTTP out calls.
Sorry, I missed the idea. Could you summarize it in a little bit shorter?
Okay, I was just requesting if there's a way to, let's say, when you are DFX deploying, to specify that you're deploying it to a graphical processing node instead of the traditional CPU node. I saw
Okay.
something, yeah.
Yeah, so if I can understand, I finally catch your idea. Yeah, this idea is that in future, ICP want to provide the special canisters with the GPU accelerations. Yeah, but no, so far we're working not directly with hardware. We every time are working with some virtual machine. This is reason why the code comparing to Wasm. And from other side, we still a blockchain. All results of a calculation should be go through the consensus mechanism. It's also tricky for AI because the AI usually not provide two equal. Sometimes they not provide this equal outputs for the same inputs. So this is also competition. Will be competition, but maybe we will find some solutions.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and Chris, you also had a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, when we know that you can build on ICP and integrate normal Web 2 APIs that already exist, same way Dedan was saying he has integrated the ChatGPT, the OpenAI API. My question is, if I'm thinking up an idea and my idea's core functionality is built on ICP, but I kind of need to call other APIs from the Web 2 framework, would that idea be viable, for instance, for voting on the NNS, or like just for launching as an ICP platform? Or would I need to make sure that all my functionality is native
No.
to ICP?
No, of course, using a third-party solution, you have no choice to use third-party solutions, third-party APIs, anything else. But the idea that we expect that you implement something which use a potential of ICP, because if it's not use potential of ICP, why you need to implement it on ICP? Because you can build in a traditional way and don't waste resources on using Web3 part. Because sometimes some services shouldn't be on the Web3 because it not make sense. So, but it's according to your business idea.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, from this is a good place to talk. Okay, don't worry. I want to know the specific algorithms used. Makes best compare. Oh, You need to go to technical documentation. It is too big to answer on you. Sorry. How was the first ICP token distribution to community? I read something that not the clones of the coin during the people was introduced. I totally don't know about token distribution. I was just engineer. Bitcoin has no owner compare. So how can we trust that one day it won't go down? It's a Wild West economy so far, so we can't we can't be sure that any tokens are go down. So it's more about the economy and betting. Because I really sometimes I don't understand why some tokens are going up, but I look after this network. I know the guys working, but this token from no reason are going down or falling down, going up or falling down. So yeah, and the same question I have for project who raise the money and who not raise the money. So it's not transparent. Sorry that I'm not provide you answers in your questions. Okay, sorry, I out of time. So feel free to put additional questions in the electronic format for some messages. So far, thank you guys for organizing and invite me. I hope I give you some food for think about it. And don't afraid to groom your idea before implementation. It's much better to switch to other idea as early as possible than just implement some MVP and then trying to find what they need for. Probably the Explorer team are working on this about the viewing smart contracts. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you for organizing. I think I'm gonna show you my. Ushit, do you want to say something at the end?
Yes, thank you so much, Arsenii, for making time. Those were really, really insightful ideas, and it was a really insightful discussion. I will give, I don't know whether Tevin or Yvonne have any of them has anything to maybe add on top before we end this call.
Okay, thank you.